USA Network.
What the hell do you think you're doing here?
Good evening, Spencer.
Nora, go away. Go anywhere. I don't want you near this house.
The least you can do is invite me in for a minute. It's freezing out there.
Mrs. Sachs and Mrs. Whitney are both asleep upstairs. I don't want you to disturb them.
I'm not here to disturb them. I'm here because I've been fired.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean it. I need a job.
Well, why don't you go look for one?
I want to work here with you.
What?
I want you to recommend me for a job here.
Me? Recommend you? You're dreaming.
Oh, you'll recommend me. And highly. Because if you don't, I may have to tell Mrs. Whitney that you're the man that murdered her husband.
You are insane.
Then try explaining what you were doing at Samaritz. That's where you went for your little vacation, wasn't it? That's where you always went when you had a little time. After the Bowies took us there, you, Gunther, me.
So what?
Come on, Spencer, you like to ski. I always thought it was because you fancied the way you looked in your black ski suit. I knew it was you the minute I read that newspaper account of Skylar Whitney being murdered in Samaritz. Mysterious skier in black. Yes, Spencer, I think the butler did it.
You're really unbelievable, Nora.
No, I think you are. You really did it, didn't you? But why? Did you hate him? Or are you after his wife?
You keep your mouth shut! You know so much from reading the newspapers, but you seem to have missed one little article.
Really?
Yes, it was the article stating that Skylar Whitney killed your precious Gunther.
What are you saying? Listen, that can't be true.
Oh, it's true, all right, Nora. Please have all the proof. I don't know how you missed it. It was one of the top stories.
No, it's not true.
Yes, it is, and I don't give a damn if you can believe it or not. It's all out in the open. Whitney killed Gunther, so you can see your little revengeful plot against the Kavanaughs was misdirected. Too bad, seeing as how you put so much work into it.
Spencer, what's going on? I hear voices up there.
Mrs. Whitney, I'm sorry you've been disturbed. I was just...
Well, tell her, Spencer.
I was interviewing this lady for the maid's job.
Here's a list of the landmark buildings in Monticello, and I need pictures of the 6 that I've checked off there, okay?
All right. What time is the deadline for Sunday's edition?
Thursday at 2. And Paul Harris down in the composing room gets very cranky if it's even 5 minutes late. So will that push you for time?
No, I can do them tomorrow afternoon and have them out the next morning.
Wonderful, wonderful. I've already done the copy, so that'll wrap it up. Okay, here we go. My gosh, it's been a long day. I still have a long way to go.
You mean you have another assignment tonight?
Yes, I'm going over to the drama studio to get some more material about the television project. I don't suppose there'd be any point in asking you to come along?
No, I've decided not to be a part of Jim's company anymore.
Or to be with him?
Or to be with him.
Look, Valerie, I hated to be the one to tell you the bad news about him, but quite frankly, once I learned the truth about him, there was no way I could keep it from you.
Oh, Nancy, I know that. And you did the right thing. And so did Kelly. And so have I, and now we've all done the right thing, and I feel terrible.
Oh, Anna, don't do that. Oh, please, don't. Come on now. All right, I don't approve of what he did, the lying and the deceit, but my goodness. He certainly does get an A for daring, doesn't he?
Oh, he was that all right. And charming on top of it.
Yeah, you need something there. I would really be interested in what his motive was. I mean, what was behind it? What do you think was behind it?
Well, he claims that he was just curious. I mean, that it was a lark, and he wanted to find out who this person was. It was have his name and his identity.
Yeah, well, he told me that, too, that it was an incredible coincidence that the man you knew in Lucerne and he had the same name and that they were so similar in terms of age and characteristics. I mean, it was like something out of a Hitchcock movie.
Well, it was incredible, but the coincidence of all those factors was there, and Jim took advantage of them. I mean, he made me believe that he was someone and something that he's not.
Motive is so vague. I think it's a little bit strange that he called it something of an adventure. And then Kelly may have done an injustice by thinking that it was all started because of the money that you might have inherited from your father.
I don't know, Nancy. And I don't think I'll ever know now. One thing I do know is that I can't see him anymore. Can I?
What's 3 times 8?
It's 24.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, we got 7 plus 4, that's 11, and 24 is carrier 3. We've got a grand total of $6,489.73.
Let me see that. Sets, lighting equipment, royalties, wardrobe, props, stagehands, promotion, advertising, printing, rehearsal costs. Coffee? We have to pay for coffee?
Oh, yes.
And you forgot the actors' salaries.
Doesn't everybody?
And you also forgot the other biggest expenditure. The rental of the theater. You're not going to talk the owners into a percentage of the gross, are you? And look, we're already over half of the $10,000 that Sid gave us for the investment.
Don't be so negative. We got to start thinking big around here. That $10,000 from Sid was only just the beginning.
That was manna from heaven. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Jim, if we can find one angel, we can find a whole flock of them.
Birds come in flocks. Angels come in flights.
Oh, well, what do pigeons with $10,000 come in?
They come in rarely. You know, Hector, you're starting to think like your brother. A little bit on the edge of,
What?
shady.
Well, now, tacky would be more like it. Shady is kind of funny coming from you.
I can't fight you there, my friend.
You got some questions about Smiley?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm concerned about his involvement here. Something scares me a little bit about your brother.
Like what?
I don't know, he's just been a big question. Tell me more about him.
Oh. Well, I don't know where to start. He's okay. He's had some problems along the way, you know, disappointments, low spots. We all have those, don't we?
Yeah, sure.
You see, when we were kids, Smiley was considered to be sort of a genius. He was just incredible at imitating people. Well, he still is for that matter. But he could do anybody, not just movie stars. He could do anybody. He'd do the grocer and the landlord and the guy at the candy shop. And at school, he used to sit in front of the class at school and he'd imitate the teacher perfectly. The kids just loved it. They were rolling in the aisles. It was great.
Yeah, I bet.
He had some problems with drugs and, yeah, he was in jail for a while. But he's okay now, I promise. He really wants his theater company to work, Jim. He's got his heart set on it. Why, he'll do anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
Hello? Hello? Anybody here? Mitzi! Mitzi!
Right here.
Where?
Right here.
Mitzi, are you in there?
Hiya.
Boy, you look good in iron.
Oh, you'd look better.
Thanks. It's not the right period, though, for our show. Come on down. Did you see that player piano when I came here? What's that name? Boy, this is fabulous.
How are you folks? You looking for something particular?
Yeah, we're running a special on jail cells this year.
Oh, this one's a Jim Dandy.
Yeah, I think Jim's gonna think it's a dandy, too. Looks so authentic.
It sure came out of an old prison they tore down. You folks look around. If you want anything, just holler. I'll be up front.
Thanks.
Thank you. Boy, Mitzi, this is fabulous. This is great. I can just see it. It'll be the backdrop for the scene, you know, where I first see Arnie. Arnie? Christopher Follett. It's not how you play the game, it's whether you win or lose. And I win.
That's excellent. That's beautiful.
You like it? And then there'll be this scene where you come to plead with them, you know, to tell the truth. Oh, come on.
Yeah, okay. Arnie, they're gonna blow you out of the water, Arnie. You can't leave me like this. Please, don't leave.
It's really good, Mitzi. That's great. It's gonna be fabulous, you know. And this show is gonna work. It's gonna make money, Mitzi. Hey, Mitzi! Mitzi! Mitzi, it's me, Cliff! Mitzi! Oh, just wait till Gavin sees this. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't know what he's missing.
Hey, it's locked. You got the key?
That's the key?
It's Mr. Sargard!
Sir! Mr.
Props! Sir?
Mr. Propman!
Help!
Excuse me!
Hey, what's going on
Sir.
here?
Hey,
What is all this? I know I said you could holler. What the hell are you doing in there?
Well, we were doing the scene, you see, and the door locked.
Well, I said it was authentic.
it's realistic, all right.
Yeah, even the lock is realistic. How much does this thing rent for?
Well, it rents for $10 a night.
Oh, that's really reasonable.
Yeah, but the key of the door is $100.
Do you take credit cards?
Why you've done this cruel thing, but you've had your last chance to hurt me and my family.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would I want to hurt you?
I don't know. I don't have any idea what your twisted motives might be. And I don't care, but I'm telling you now, you get out of here and you stay out. And don't you ask for my reference unless you get a job in hell.
I don't know why you're so hysterical and blaming me. It's not my fault your marriage is on the rocks.
Get you anything, Mrs. Kavanaugh?
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. Goodman.
Where's the doctor?
He had to go out for an emergency. He'll be back shortly.
The atmosphere's awfully heavy in here, isn't it?
Is it? I hadn't noticed.
Okay. Anything you say.
Oh, Mrs. Goodman, there's something I should tell you. Nora Fulton, she won't be working here any longer.
I'm not going to pretend to be sorry. That woman has been bent on making trouble in this household since ever she first walked in that door. Sneaking around all the time, whispering behind people's backs, listening at doors. But I caught her at it a lot of times. It never even seemed to bother her. But you know what's funny is, I can't understand why she wanted to make trouble.
Well, you were suspicious of her behavior for a long time. I was just too blind to see it. But she's gone now and she won't be coming back. That's final.
Since I've stuck my neck out this far, I might as well go the whole way. What about Miss Avery? Is she really going to get married to Chief Mallory?
Yes, I think so, Mrs. Goodman. At least I hope so.
You look just like Jinx, Avery.
Look, why don't I get you some coffee?
What I need is something that will remove my head from my shoulders. Oh, but you'll have to do it for me, because I can barely move.
Here you go. Here's some coffee. Oh, you must feel awful, don't you?
Oh, I have never felt so bad in my life. How much did I drink? Oh, my God. Why did I do it?
I know why you did it. You know, don't you? The moment I walked in and saw you with Damien Tyler, I saw the condition you were in, and I knew that, well, that you knew. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Was it Miles that told you the truth? Oh, of course, it must have been.
Miles didn't tell me anything.
Well, come on, please, look at me and tell me. Did you talk to him about my health?
We discussed it a little bit. I was the one who brought it up.
But why? I mean, what prompted you to talk about it? Please tell me. I know it's hard, but why did you go to Miles in the first place?
Somebody told me that you were very ill.
It's all right. You can say it. I'm dying.
Yeah.
Did Miles confirm it?
He didn't confirm anything.
Yeah, but he didn't deny it, did he?
Oh, honey, I deny it. I deny it. And drinking myself into a stupor just made it more unreal. You tell me it's not real. You tell me it's not real.
It is true. It is. And are you ever going to be able to forgive me for not telling you? I'm sorry. It was an awful, terrible thing to do, and I'm very sorry.
Why does it have to happen?
Look, I was just thinking about myself. I was selfish. That's all. I wanted to hang on to you. I wanted to hang on to the happiness as long as I could.
This doesn't have to change everything.
Come on, Darren.
Look, it doesn't change the way I feel. I wanted to marry you before. I still want to marry you. I love you. And no blood test and no medical report's gonna change anything. You've got to decide this now.
So, Mrs. Carr, that's the story of our good luck. The $10,000 that Sid gave us. She's a wonderful lady. She's a lifesaver.
You know, from now on, I'm not going to eat any place but Sid.
Well, I think it's wonderful that the Maskers have an angel.
Well, her contribution isn't going to be able to take us all the way.
But it's a great boost for the company. And as they say, the mighty oaks from little acorns grow.
Exactly. It's really very encouraging.
Yes, and we needed that encouragement, especially right now.
We had the best time.
Where have you been?
We went out to that scenery place out on Culver Road. They have everything we need. Hector, you do not have to build that jail cell.
Oh, great.
They have a beautiful one.
It's so authentic. We got stuck in that baby. And we have everything we need to begin production.
Except the theater.
Well, yes. Nancy, you know, we were thinking about the Whitney Theater. It's the perfect place, but the cost would probably be astronomical. What do you think?
Well, you could always make an inquiry.
Yeah, we were thinking about that.
Yeah, you know, we thought about Mrs. Whitney, and we decided, you know, she probably would be a very tough customer. And we thought, you know, if somebody knew her personally, someone who could persuade her.
Yeah, I wonder who could do that.
You mean you'd like me to talk to her?
Why didn't we think of that?
So you are available then?
Yes, I am.
Well, have you ever done maid work? I mean, you did something a little more for the Kavanaughs, didn't you?
Well, actually, I was nothing more than a glorified typist. Really, that's why I left. I mean, I really wasn't being challenged.
Well, what do you think you're going to do here?
Mrs. Whitney, it seems to me that a woman in your position would need a social secretary. Of course, I'm capable of doing a great deal more than keeping track of your appointments, answering mail, keeping household accounts, and so forth. I'm quite a good cook, for one thing. And I drive, for another. I did all of those things for a previous employer, Mrs. Bowie, and she didn't have nearly the social life that you do.
A personal secretary. I like it.
If I might say one more thing, I think I could be very helpful to you during your bereavement. I believe I'm regarded as a congenial companion. Of course, I would never interfere in anything that did not concern me. I think Spencer will vouch for that, won't you?
Interfere? You?
Well, I mean, if Spencer recommends you, well, you're hired. Quarters and the rest of the house.
I'll show her.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Good night, Mrs. Whitney.
Good night. Yes, I have to fill out the staff. After all, I have to live up to the name, Mrs. Schuyler Whitney. And I can't let anyone know the truth. That I'm really Mrs. Jefferson Brown.
You're watching the USA Network.
Oh, Miles? Honey, I just couldn't wait to talk to you. You know I don't usually bother you when you have a patient.
My last patient just left. I'm about to leave myself in about a half an hour, so whatever it is, we can talk about it at home.
Whatever it is, you know what it is. You left this morning before I woke up.
Nicole, I had a patient going into early surgery. I left for the hospital at 7 a.m. As for the rest of the day...
As for the rest of the day, you wouldn't answer any of my calls, honey. You've never done
Nicole,
that.
I was too busy. Besides, what we had to discuss, I thought we ought to discuss in person.
Well, you hate me, don't you?
Don't be ridiculous.
You do. You hate me for what Derek found out about Jinx.
I told you exactly how I felt about it, and there's nothing more to say on the subject.
I just can't bear the thought of you not liking me.
You know that isn't how I feel. That doesn't describe it at all.
Well, what does?
The word I used before disappointment. I'm just disappointed in you, honey.
Miles, honey, there's more to this story than you know.
What is it?
Well, I don't know if it's going to make you feel any different, but I want you to know the whole chain of events.
All right, I will be home in an hour. You can tell me that.
No, that's one of the reasons I've been trying to call you all day to tell you that one of the men who was doing the broadcast got sick and I have to fill in for him tonight.
All right, then I guess it'll just have to wait. Oh, listen, someone's trying to call me. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, Barbara. Oh, all right. Yeah, send her in.
Well, hello, Doc.
Oh, Jinx?
Oh, you should see yourself. You look positively ill. That's no way to inspire confidence in your patients.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you this evening.
Well, I just thought I'd stop by and tell you that everything is all right.
Really?
Everything is simply perfect. I suppose you thought I'd come in here weeping and wailing, but I've never looked better in my life. Don't you agree?
I'm not sure. Jinx, what happened last night between you and Derek?
Well, for the first thing, I found out that you didn't tell him anything. You're absolved of all guilt, Doctor. Aren't you glad?
Well, I never felt guilty.
He made it very clear that you absolutely refused to say anything about me.
Jinx, are you sure that he does know everything?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure. But it's really better that way. You know, it was wrong to try to fool him. You told me that from the very beginning.
I told you I thought it was unfair to him and to you.
Oh, yes, it was unfair. I mean, to saddle him with a dying woman? No, it's much better this way. Don't you think?
How'd the conversation end? I mean, what'd you decide?
Well, we decided to do the practical thing.
Which is what?
To go our separate ways, of course.
Is that a mutual decision?
No, it was my decision. Well, I didn't want him to marry me just out of pity.
Did he offer to do that?
Look, Miles, it's much better this way. I mean, I think it's better that we forget that it ever happened. It's better for him, obviously, and I think it's better for me, too.
In what way? Tell me in what way?
Marriage is, very time-consuming, and I don't have that much time.
Jinx,
you have
now
to
you're
admit
not
that.
being fair to yourself. Now, why not give Derek the chance to decide what he wants to do?
Because he's in no condition to decide anything. If you could have seen the way he looked at me, as if I were a bomb ready to explode. If you could have seen the pain in his eyes. Do you think I could look into those eyes every day for the rest of my life? No. Of course not. That life is going to be too short. I'm going to have to spend the rest of my time preparing myself. I think I'll read all the books that I always promised myself I would read. Maybe the Bible. Yes, that's a good idea. And some poetry. Yes, I've always loved poetry. As a matter of fact, I read a poem this afternoon. Ode to a Nightingale. It's by Keats. Do you know it?
No, I don't think I do.
Well, it's not what you think. It sounds very light-hearted, but it isn't. You know, you can learn a great deal from poetry. Well, I've got to go now.
Jinx, wait a minute.
No, I've got things to do. I have to, finish the poem.
Tonight.
I'm at the airport.
In Monticello?
I'll be there in a few minutes, okay?
Look.
No, look, Calvin, I couldn't bear to hear any more conversation tonight, okay?
Well, look, Dee, at least let me...
You look. I have a very busy day tomorrow, and obviously you're going to be very busy, too.
A skincare consultant often hears,
"My skin's so dry, and I use a soap with cream."
try a soap whose natural moisturizer helps dry skin repair itself. Camay's Dry Skin Formula. Camay's moisturizer works in dry skin, actually helps it repair itself to look soft, supple, young, normal, oily, or dry. Camay is personalized care for beautiful skin.
It's National Baby Week at JCPenney. And oh, baby, what a terrific sale. 20% off Toddle Time sleepwear and underwear. Save on separates for infants and toddlers. 20% off car seats, strollers, and Toddle Time bedding coordinates. Save on a 3-piece nursery group, $150 off, and so much more. We've got everything baby wants, except puppies. National Baby Week at JCPenney.
I
said, clean my new fiberglass tub with Comet? And a leading fiberglass maker said, yes. I said, it'll scratch. And they said, this is new Comet. It's tough on stains and safer. Watch. Here's porcelain with greasy food stains and a delicate acrylic with soap film. Now, new Comet versus a leading scouring cleanser. They were scrubbed, then rinsed. The other cleanser left a stain and dull scratches. New Comet shows only clean. So then I said, new Comet still gets some cleaner. Now cleans them safer.
The day's looking new and bright, and you're gonna start it right. Oh, you're starting to prove the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your car.
Mornings are brighter with mountain-grown Folgers because mountain-grown coffee has more enticing aroma than any other kind.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your car.
Try to keep your husband calm, Mrs. Miller. The medication will have more effect if he'll take it easy for the next few days. Yeah. Sure, of course he can call me if it'll make him feel any better. Yes. All right, goodbye. I thought you had to stay at the studio.
Well, I have to be back in a half an hour. I couldn't wait to see you face to face. I can't bear the thought of your being angry.
I'm not angry with you. I told you exactly how I felt.
I know, you're disappointed, but it's more than that. That's why I want to tell you this whole story from the beginning.
Well, I would like to hear about it. Because I can't imagine you just going over to Derek and telling him about Jinx. Something I can't picture.
No, it didn't happen that way.
What'd you do? Just blurt it out in a moment of misguided compassion or something?
Well, yes, I did. I blurted it out. But it wasn't compassion, it was anger.
Anger at whom? At Jinx?
No! At Nora.
Nora Fulton, what's she got to do with this?
Everything. You know how she was making those insinuations to Mrs. Goodman? She was probably making to the whole town for all I know. I was just so blind to it. But then the other day when she was in my office and she started talking about Jinx Avery's wedding.
She's interested in the wedding for. She doesn't even know Jinx.
I don't know, but she said that she didn't think this wedding was going to take place. That Jinx was making some kind of bluff. She was going to pretend to marry Derek so that you'd be jealous.
Oh, for God's sake, Nicole, what kind of a viper did you bring into our home?
I don't know, but I just couldn't take it anymore until all of a sudden I found myself standing up and screaming at her that was ridiculous because Jinx Avery was dying.
Well, you got to fire that woman.
I did. I told her that if she didn't keep that confidence, I was going to fire her. Obviously, it didn't make any difference to her.
So she told Derek?
Yes. I have no idea what kind of malice drove her to do that.
Obviously, she's very disturbed and vicious. Bad combination.
Yeah, but it's still my fault. It's all my fault. If I hadn't told her, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. So terribly sorry.
Geraldine, I have someone I want you to meet.
Oh, but I know Miss Fulton.
Oh, that's right. You probably met her at the studio with Nicole.
Although the last time we had a visit was right here, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yes, I was here visiting Spencer, Mr. Varney.
I recall that visit very well. You had some unusual things to say about the Kavanaugh domestic situation.
Oh, really? What?
Really? It wouldn't be discreet to ask Miss Fulton to discuss her employers.
Former employers. She now works for me.
What?
She's my new private secretary. Isn't that great?
When did that happen?
I decided the other job just wasn't for me, Mrs. Saxon. Not because of the friction in the household, but because I had to spend so much time at the studio.
Yes, I spend considerable time there myself.
Oh, I didn't mind that, of course. It's just that I prefer working in a private home.
And now you'll be working in this home.
That's right. I decided that a woman in my position needs a private secretary.
Oh, let me get that,
Great.
Please. This is my job, Nora.
Oh, you can do all the menial chores, Spencer. It doesn't make any difference to me.
We're Mr. and Mrs. Carr.
Yes, sir. I'm Spencer. Won't you come in, please? How do you feel, Rita?
Well, better than I did the last time we met. But please take off your coats and come on in.
Well,
She can't guess the name of this new detergent. It whitens clothes without the worry of liquid chlorine bleach.
This detergent's terrific. Look how white it got your shirt.
Yeah, Mom, and it doesn't fade flowers like your liquid bleach did.
Guess again. Your grandmother used it, and now it's got a new whitening formula with color-safe bleach.
Whites like this used to worry me. I never knew how much liquid bleach to add.
And it showed. Give up. It's new advanced whitening Oxidol, the only heavy-duty detergent with, ta-da, those famous green crystals with color-safe bleach. So you can whiten berry-stained shirts like these without the worry of liquid bleach. Watch. We'll soak one in a leading detergent with liquid bleach, one in new Oxidol. Look, both look white. Can you guess which is which? Now you can. The liquid bleach shirt pales next to the Oxidol shirt.
I wish new Oxidol were here sooner. All those uniforms I messed up.
I still love you, Ma. So who whitens without the worry of liquid bleach? Guess.
With my lifestyle, I need to spend my time wisely. So when I watch television, I watch Memphis Cablevision. One of my favorites is the Lifetime channel.
A woman's life is full of challenges, and the Lifetime channel can help women make the most of them. Lifetime brings you and your family health and fitness programs, shows that explore the demands and joys of being a parent, plus the latest information on everything from fashion and style to career development and personal growth.
Cablevision makes my television time quality time.
Halley's Comet 86 presents your chance of a lifetime. Only 100,000 of these wonderful pewter or brass finished commemorative belt buckles will be sold, and only $15.95. Yours will bear its own serial number, its own registration certificate. Crafted by Great American Buckle of Chicago, it's yours for only $15.95 plus $2 shipping. Call 522-0914 Memphis or write Box 30636 Memphis 38130. Call now for a low registration number and specify pewter or brass. 522-0914 now.
Well, you're the first people who have made a sympathy call. Thank you very much, although I must admit that I was rather upset when I saw you and the Kavanaughs at the funeral.
May I help you, Spencer?
Why don't you go to the kitchen and get the canopies? Yes, Mrs. Whitney.
I'm sure Miles and Nicole will be calling them soon, but at the moment I think they're rather preoccupied.
Ah, yes, the Kavanaughs are always so busy.
Excuse me, why did Miss Fulton decide to leave Nicole?
I'm sure I don't know.
White wine, Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Spencer.
You're sure there's nothing I can get you, Mrs.
Nothing,
Carr?
thank you.
I've changed my mind, Spencer. I'd like a kamikaze.
Yes, ma'am.
Raven, there's something I think you should know, and I hope it will ease your mind somewhat. Both the police and my office are satisfied we have enough facts now to conclude the investigation. There will be no further statements to the press.
Good.
We know how difficult it's been for you, Raven. I hope you feel that the Monticello News has been dealing fairly with you, because we've tried to make it very clear that you were in no way involved.
I wish the Monticello News had not made it so clear that my husband was a lunatic murderer, but I try not to think about it.
Well, there's one thing you should think about, Raven, and that's the legal questions concerning your husband's estate.
He's quite right. You must get a lawyer.
That's true, I must. Mr. Carr, there aren't any problems with the will, are there? I mean, I am his wife.
I'm not aware of any problem. But since there's obviously a lot of money and property involved, you should examine the whole matter very carefully.
Yes, speaking of the property, this piece of property I'd like to discuss with you.
Like what?
The theater, the Whitney
Oh,
Theater.
the theater. I wish Sculler had sold it before we went to Switzerland. I hate the place.
Why?
Because it reminds me of Martine Duval and a lot of other things I'd rather forget.
Well, would you be interested in renting it? I know a group of actors who are looking for theater.
You do? Tell them they can have it for nothing. I don't want it.
Will you stop, Johnny? You made a vulnerable contact. One of these days, you're going to be happy you met Buffy Revere and Geraldine Saxon. It's like planting seeds for the future, you know?
Buffy Revere is just too smart for me, Smiley.
What does that mean?
I don't know, one minute she treats me like a little kid, the next
That's
minute...
right, she's supposed to. That's what we want. These ladies want to do things for you. That's perfect.
I bet she knew right from the start that I was going to ask her for money. The second I brought it up, she'd put a stop to it.
Hey, she's been a widow for a long time. Who knows what she's had to deal with.
Well, she's real nice to me, though. You know, she opened up a charge account at a clothing store for me. In fact, right now, I'm getting a suit made up for myself.
Hey, see if you can get the tailor to come up with another one, size 39.
For you?
For him.
I can't do that.
You come up with any more charge accounts?
Nope, that's it. She said something about not wanting my friends to take advantage of her.
She said that?
Can you believe it?
What a disgusting thing for her to say.
Well, there is one other thing, though.
What's that?
She gave me the use of her penthouse when she goes to Palm Springs in a couple of weeks.
Penthouse?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a total loss after all, was it? Johnny boy.
Where are you going, excuse me?
Hey, Sydney.
Hi there.
How you doing?
What are you tonight? French, Italian,
Whatever you want. Listen, I heard about that money you're giving to the group, and I just wanted you to know how grateful I am.
Well, I was probably crazy to do it. But I hear they're a pretty talented group, and I thought I'd like to help get them off the ground.
Yeah, that's terrific. That really is. It's terrific. I also hear that you're using insurance money.
Yeah, that's right. My ex-husband.
Well, he must have been some kind of guy.
He probably didn't even remember he had the damn policy.
No, I mean, he must have been something to get somebody like you to marry him.
It's all over between them. She's not going to give Derek the chance to do the right thing. Marry her out of a sense of obligation, pity.
He wouldn't do that. He loves her. I know he does. He'll make her see reason.
I don't know, she's in a very strange mood. She's almost exhilarated. Started talking about poetry, one poem in particular. Have you ever read Ode to a Nightingale?
Yeah, by Keats. But I don't really remember it.
Do we have a copy of it at home?
Yeah, I think so. I've also got one at the studio.
See if you can find it for me, will you? Look, I'll see you later.
You have modern appliances all over your home. But when it comes to vacuum cleaners, are you living in another era? Using a heavy, clunky, weak vacuum cleaner that hasn't changed much in 20 or 30 years? Now there's the Eureka Express Power Team with a power head for carpets and attachments for everything else. It's one powerful cleaner for every surface in your home. Eureka. Vacuum cleaners for today, not yesterday.
Hi, I'm Ruth Katz.
And I'm Gene Rayburn.
We'd like to tell you about an exciting new show called Crafts Video Magazine.
I know how much fun you'll have because I'm having a ball.
But that's not all. We'll have lots of guest stars and great entertainment.
Ruth will make you laugh.
And you'll learn all about crafting. Our guests will show you how to create gifts, toys, decorations, and much more.
This is a show you're going to enjoy.
So don't miss it. Join me for Crafts Video Magazine.
Saturdays at 10:30 a.m., 9:30 Central on USA.
On the next cover story, Diane Carroll finds new success on Dynasty.
Only Dynasty had any interest in a black woman as a serious character.
And she isn't about to let it go.
I would like to retire with a little dignity at about 80.
Anything that you wanted to know about Diane Carroll that you couldn't find in the book, you're going to find out on this show, Cover Story.
Saturday at 7:30.
In the world of golf, it is a tradition that has no equal. The site, Augusta, Georgia. They come by invitation only to mesh with the most prestigious golf course in the world. Some tournaments have tradition. Some have prestige. One tournament has them both. The Masters. Live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Repeated at 8 p.m., 7 Central, Thursday and Friday on USA.
Louise, it's so wet outside, it smells wet inside.
We need Arm & Hammer carpet deodorizer. 3 times more odor-destroying ingredient than ordinary brands. They sit on top. Arm & Hammer penetrates to destroy deep-down odors.
Whole room's fresh.
Work better, longer, cost less, too.
All this great food.
It's for the party. And a fresh box of Arm & Hammer baking soda keeps everything fresh.
Another box in the freezer?
Keeps ice cream from tasting funny. And the new calendar reminds us to change every 3 months. Isn't it time for a fresh box?
Edge of Night has been brought to you in part by Arm & Hammer Pure Baking Soda. Freshens the fridge, freshens the freezer.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Miles, I just found this poem. I think you'd better hear it.
Well, what's it about?
It's about dying. It talks about being half in love with easeful death, and there's a line that says, "Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain."
To cease upon the midnight with no pain.
You're watching